you understand?
Hey everybody, I'm Tony Jones, and welcome to the Tony Jones Show.
There's not enough people are willing to take the risk. It's sort of a herd mentality, a lemming-like mentality. If you don't go with the flow, you're anti-American and therefore a suspect.
The Tony Jones Show, featuring punk, rockabilly, psychobilly, and Providence, Rhode Island's finest, starts right now.
He's a dangerous militia member, I hear. Oh, and there she blows.
Friends, the time for mediocrity and broadcasting is over. My name is Tony Jones, and you are tuned in to the Tony Jones Show, your destination for talk and rock. Online at TonyJones.org, on Facebook, Facebook.com/Tony Jones Show, on the almighty Twitter. Testify to some Twitter at Tony Jones in RI. Before we get down to business here, because we are very blessed to have 1031 in studio, we'll be talking with them. We'll be playing some of their tracks off of their new EP, well, debut, and I guess it's new EP, Trick or Treat. We'll hear some tracks off of that in just a bit. We have to send big congratulations out to our old friend, Rhode Island Free Radio personality and cable TV personality, Chuckles the Clown. Yes, he had a little clown baby this week, and
was it a boy or a girl?
It was a girl. little Lydia was born Saturday night, 6 o'clock, and it's, the next. We're going to build up the next generation of internet radio personalities because
superstars.
I'm thinking in 20, 30 years from now, people might actually be able to make money doing this crap. But until then, we'll have to coach the next generation.
Get paid doing this?
Very not to get too far off track, but very exciting is that the new group of automobiles that just came out has built-in Wi-Fi. It's a Wi-Fi hotspot in the car. So if you have one of these new cars, you can actually listen to Rhode Island Free Radio right on your hotspot in the car, just like you would traditional radio.
Terrestrial.
So, we are getting into that point in the technology, and of course, I always like to admit that I am one of the godfathers of it. I was on the forefront of the technology.
One day, when they're going through the history books, Tony Jones...
they're going to flip to a page that opens up like a roadmap, and there's going to be a picture of me.
Unfortunately, it's going to be the same one that says Tony Jones scaring little children since 2007.
2007? You're giving me credit. I've been scaring kids since 1981.
I was being nice, Giving you a little props.
We also have to mention that 1 week from today we'll be at the Rocky Point Clam Shack celebrating 2 years on the air here on Rhode Island Free Radio. So I hope you can join us. Of course, the event's free. You'll see me. You'll see DJ Psycho Eddie. Bunch of vendors, bunch of live music. It's going to be a great day. We do have a rain date of the following Sunday. I've been looking ahead and seeing what we're looking like for next weekend.
I've been doing my no rain dance.
Are we good?
So far,
which he does shirtless, folks. Just remember that.
It's quite the sight to not be seen. Trust me.
So let's get back down to the music so we can get back on the air and talk with 1031. We're going to hear from the Midnight Creeps. Up next, this track, Just Can't Get It Right. You heard it here on The Tony Jones Show.
So I think
little Vice right here on the Tony Jones Show. Latex, the name of that one. Vice Squad, of course. And then before that, we heard from one of my favorites, now defunct local bands. We heard some Midnight Creeps. Just Can't Get It Right, the name of that one. Tony Jones here. You are tuned into the Tony Jones Show. TonyJones.org, Facebook.com/Tony Jones Show. On the almighty Twitter, at Tony Jones in RI. Of course, if you're catching us live, thanks for tuning in and hanging out. I do monitor the social media accounts throughout the program, so if you need to get a hold of me, that's how you do it. Or you can go to TonyJones.org, click on the contact page if you'd like to be in studio, or if you have music for us. In studio with us now, we do have 1031, just released a fantastic EP called Trick or Treat, which you guys are getting some serious major airplay. I mean, not that the Tony Jones Show isn't major airplay. I mean, we'll be clear on that, but you guys are getting some major airplay with the new EP, correct? I was in the car the other night. I keep odd hours. It was pretty late at night, and one of the big name radio stations here, 50,000 watts blasting throughout New England. And what did I hear? I hear 1031. That must feel pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
So tell us about 1031. Who's in the band and what do they do?
I'm RJ. I'm the drummer.
I'm Katie. I am the lead singer.
My name is Rock3. I'm the guitarist.
Our bassist isn't here. That's Eric.
Unfortunately.
And we actually have a second guitarist named Brian who just recently joined too.
So when did 1031 start, and how did you all get together? Is it a Craigslist success story? No.
Well, yes and no. We've been together about a year now. I actually met Katie about 3 years ago via Craigslist, and she's never really done a band before, so she was a little nervous and
a lot of nervous, not a little nervous.
And, 3 years later, she decided, hey, I'm ready to start a project. So I said, okay. Eric and myself were coming off of a project, and Roger here, believe it or not, Roger and I have been playing together ever since 1995.
Wow.
Yeah, so
damn.
A long time.
So he came back to good old East Providence, and we hooked up and pretty much formed a band.
So did you guys kind of head straight away into recording? Because for a band that's been around for only a year to already have a solid release, I mean, I know bands that it takes them quite some time before they even get to recording. Did you kind of head right into song making and then recording?
Well, we were kind of fortunate. Roger and I, we recycled some of the old sidetrack songs from our old band. Actually, one of them being Hand That Feeds. That song's, like 20 years old now? So we had a couple of those to get us going, and then, the creative juices just started flowing. And then when we realized that we needed to get some shows, we had to put something together quick. So we did a small recording of 3 songs, and then our song catalog kind of built up pretty quickly, so we figured it was time to put something of quality, I guess, out.
Right.
To give us a good taste, give people a good taste of what we really are,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how it came about.
The chemistry flowed pretty quickly, so we were fortunate to be able to get a good set of songs under our hands quickly.
So, and we'll talk about, because you guys have a huge Halloween show coming up. We want to make sure we plug the crap out of that to
we're hoping
get some people out.
We'd like to make it an annual thing if possible, so the first one's always the biggest one.
So where and when was your first show? And with you being new to music, I mean, you just had to have been, I can only assume, a ball of nerves. So how was the first getting out there? What was that like?
I'll let Katie and Roger take that one over, because I think they were the most nervous.
Our first show was actually at AS 220 in downtown Providence, and we were lucky enough to only have maybe like 5 people go. So my nerves were a little.
So it was a show at AS 220.
It was a glorified practice.
I was terrified actually, and I couldn't move for like the entire set, but I was like, I just have to make sure I remember all the words. That's all I care about.
For me, it was just getting rid of some cobwebs. It's been a long time since I played on stage. And,
yeah.
It was a good way to work back into it and get back to get to where we are today.
So besides looking like rigor mortis, bodies on the stage, the music was solid.
Yeah, so, you can get solid sound at AS 220. Luckily, they have a group of sound guys there that actually take their job seriously. So.
And the $5 live recorded CD. So we even have a live.
That's
recorder.
right. You could put that up on eBay.
It'd be worth millions.
$10.31.
Let's get back to the music for a little bit. We'll talk more with 1031 throughout the show. Incidentally, you can find them on Facebook at facebook.com/1031NE, and you can also find them on Reverb Nation. Big Halloween show coming up for them. We'll talk about that. We'll talk a little bit more about their EP, but before that, we'll get back down to the music, and we'll have some tunes from the folks that were here last week, starting with Worm. Mike Worm was here last week along with Meaghan Casey, which, by the way, Ed, have you had a chance to listen to Meaghan Casey's EP yet?
Yes, actually, I went
fantastic.
Through it. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's not the genre I normally gravitate towards.
And, you know, that's when you know it's good, because completely out of anything that I would normally consider myself to listen to, and it's been in the CD player. Yes, I still have a CD player in the PT Cruiser all week. I probably listened to it a dozen times since they were here last week.
I however, do not have the EP. But
luckily, we have some on our free stuff table.
You're going to be short one when I leave, because with the Suburban I just picked up, I took all the CDs out of my old truck, and I don't remember what I did with them. So there's about 90 local CDs that are missing.
Ed drove into lovely scenic West Warwick this afternoon in his new vehicle that I've seen for the first time, and I thought it was a presidential motorcade.
I have quite possibly the largest production vehicle ever made.
It's like, I mean, what do you get for gas on that? Like,
honestly,
just stop at every gas station in town.
Mileage actually isn't that bad, because it's one of those fancy high-tech ones that when you get on the highways, they shut cylinders off.
It runs off of goat urine.
No, around town I'm getting around 9 to 10 miles to the gallon. I'm not going to lie to you. Well, it's a big truck just to get it moving. But once I get on the highway, I do a lot of highway driving because I'm always going up to Providence, up into Massachusetts, Connecticut, whatever. I'm getting 30, 35 miles to the gallon because I'm running on 4 cylinders. It's hard to believe, but 70 miles an hour. I have the little dashboard computer, and it says I'm doing 34 miles to the gallon. So it works out. I'm averaging about 14 to 16 miles if you combine everything together.
When the apocalypse hits.
It evens out.
Yeah.
Which
you're doing 10 miles an hour. 4 cylinders running in such a big car.
Why are you doing 70 miles in a 25 mile an hour zone? To save some money?
No, here's the scary part. The vehicle I just got rid of, which was a large pickup, obviously I'm not going to be driving a mini or compact truck.
The Mini Cooper didn't work out for you?
No, the Mini Cooper was not in my forte. However, the Dodge Ram that I just got rid of, I was averaging 9 to 10 miles a gallon. So I actually upgraded my mileage by going to a bigger vehicle.
Anytime Ed and I get in the same car, that old song cues up, Lowrider. No matter what it is. All right, let's get back down to the music. We're going to hear from last week's guests, starting off with a little Worm. Here's Girls in the Mosh Pit right here on The Tony Jones Show.
It's punk rock hair, skin tight clothes. We want girls in the mosh pit. We want girls in the mosh pit. We want girls in the mosh pit. We want girls in the mosh pit.
devil's head. He said, well, I ain't never gonna be lonely again. I need me a partner, and I'll need her in red. She'll be the finest thing you see, and I'll be the only thing she believes. everything you said. So what you need me to do, I will go on right ahead. Call me Sin and I will be your girl. Well, I can never lose you, 'cause I'd be losing me too. I do the devil's work and I'll do it for free. As long as you can always love a girl like me. Call me Sin and I've been waiting for you to. Tempting desire, so it's just a brush of fire. Well, don't be scared. Fell in love with everything you said. So what you need me to do, I will go on right ahead. Call me Sin and I will be all yours. Well, I can never lose you, 'cause I'll be losing me too. Well, I can never lose you, 'cause I'll be losing.
That's the one thing.
Girl Named Sin, the name of that one off of Meaghan Casey's new EP, which incidentally you can get on her Facebook page, facebook.com/Meg Boston Music. It's called Wolf Hour, and it's only $5. And as Ed and I were talking earlier, definitely not our usual genre, but just a fantastically cool. I want to say, to me, I found it very interesting. There was some banjo on there. Of course, I wouldn't consider myself to be a fan of banjo music, but on Wolf Hour, it sounded awesome.
You know, when you just look at the genre and how she described it last week, basically it's a cross between folk rock and granola crunching hippies.
And she said crunchy. Now, as soon as I heard the word crunchy, I just thought of like hippies that don't bathe and their clothes are really crunchy. You know, they haven't washed them in a while, but this was a good kind of crunchy.
That's why I threw in granola crunching, because I did not want to really slander it too bad. But you know, there's sometimes when you mix
dirty
stuff
ass dreads, you know, they're all crunchy.
Sometimes when you mix stuff together and it comes out really good in this situation, and then other times you mix stuff together like
not so much.
You know, yeah, not so much. I won't go into details.
And then before that, we heard two from Worm. Mike Worm was in with us last week. We heard Peach Fuzz, and we heard Girls in the Mosh Pit. Of course, Mikey Worm runs Reckless Records, and he's been very kind to the station here throughout the years. Pretty much, if there's a Reckless Records release coming out, we'll have our copies here in studio. So be sure to check out Reckless Records, DIY, hard-working label, putting out some fantastic releases. And here's a transition for you. Another hard-working band is in studio with me tonight. 1031 is here. Their new and their debut EP is Trick or Treat, which you can get on their Facebook page at facebook.com/1031NE. Talk a little bit about the Trick or Treat EP, how folks can get it, and you know what your feeling is. I'm assuming you also think it's a very solid release.
Yeah. Right now we're working on getting physical CDs made. That's in the works. But right now it's available on Bandcamp. And you can download it there. I think
iTunes.
It's like on iTunes and Spotify. Pretty much any digital downloading site you can get it on. As far as the CD itself, we're pretty happy with it. We feel it's a good how do I say it?
Variety of styles.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, pretty much. And
it's really fun to make.
Yeah, and it soothes the appetite until we come out with a full length.
And not to get too much into the weeds of local music, but everybody here has recorded with Joe Moody in the past, who unfortunately is not with us anymore. Where did you guys record this release?
Unfortunately, that's where we wanted to do it.
Yeah.
That was our plan, and that tragedy, I should say, happened, and we ended up going to an old workhorse out of Barrington, Rhode Island. We went and saw Randy at Newcastle Sound.
Okay.
He's been around for a while. So
been around forever.
Yeah, so we figured we'd try to record local for this, and he did a really good job as always. So we're pretty happy with that.
It was fun.
So talk a little bit about the name 1031. We were all kind of talking about it here off the air, and that there was a local band, 1031, a horror-related band locally back in the day. But you guys kind of really workshopped some names before you decided on 1031, right?
But you started getting into fights. Sometimes we'd start
Jerry Springer
harassing
shows
each
up.
Yeah. I mean, it's the typical band curse. I mean, trying to find a band name is never easy because you wanna find something catchy and you can use the market with, and so we threw out a few names. But
Yeah, what were some of the rejected names?
Oh God,
There's like a laundry
The list is
list.
long.
yeah. I mean, a couple that were close. I mean, we were just discussing was Steadfast, and then the other one was LaFours from Mallrats. But 1031, we figured.
Suits us.
Yeah, it made sense to all of us because we're all into something that has to do with Halloween related or horror related or paranormal related.
Mhm.
So we figured 1031 was a good name for us because it kind of fit a little bit of our personalities into the name.
It's unique to all of us.
And it's easy to remember.
Yeah.
Just a couple numbers.
That's
Now-
the best part.
Now, my question is, because I always have to take the negative side on a few things, and this is some of the negative things that Tony actually lets me get away with. Were there any band names that you came up with, but as soon as it came out of your mouth, you're like, oh, hell no?
Well, if our bass player Eric was here,
Exactly.
he was the one that came up with some of them, and you were like, dude, no way. So.
My old band, the Goners, was almost called Schmegma.
Yes,
And it didn't make the
stuff
cut.
Eric would come up with. Yeah.
That could be our next release.
The Schmegma EP.
Well, knock on wood, I think that was the hardest thing we ever went through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to head back down to some music. We'll talk a little bit about the big upcoming Halloween show that 1031 has coming up. And we're going to hear some 1031 in just a few minutes after we hear from Whisky Fyre right here on the Tony Jones Show. Here's War and Glory. You heard it here on the Tony Jones Show.
Marching tonight.
talk for so much pain, so much pain, until then again. Well, I need someone to talk to. I need someone to hear me. All the things that I'm saying, I'm staring down at the real talk. Real talk, you know, it's hard to find. Sentimental breakdown, sentimental break. I said to breakdown, accidental breakdown, accidental breakdown, sentimental break. I said to breakdown, accidental breakdown. Oh, they leave you insane. Don't hate that I hate the game. Oh, this talk for so much pain, until that game. Well, I need someone to talk to. I need someone to hear me. All of the things that I'm saying, I'm staring down at your real talk. Ow! Accidental breakdown, accidental break. I said to breakdown, accidental breakdown, accidental breakdown, accidental break. I said to breakdown, accidental break. Real talk, you know it's hard to find. There's no one behind you. She a talking, she says to a friend. May you pretend to be. Real talk is just another word. The hurt to be hurt, the people to die.
Hand That Feeds, the name of that one, from our in-studio guest 1031. Before that, a little Ravi Shavi, Accidental Mental. And then last time we chatted, I brought you into some great local female-fronted heavy metal with Whisky, Fyre, War, and Glory, the name of that track. 1031 is in studio. You are tuned into the Tony Jones Show. We just heard Hand That Feeds. Tell us a little bit about that track. Probably, for me, one of my favorites off of the EP. Kind of has that punchy, driving music, I guess is what I would call it. But tell us a little bit about that.
It's an old one.
Yeah,
It's definitely an old one.
that one's about 20 years old now.
Damn.
I think I probably wrote that.
That song's old enough to drink.
yeah, almost.
Pretty much. I think I wrote that probably around like 95, 96, and that's one of the first things that we brought to the table when we were in Sidetrack.
Yeah, that's our old band from high school days, and that was actually one of the popular tunes that we played back when we were in high school. So we figured, why not give it a rebirth and see what it does. Was
it easy to? I mean, just thinking about how much has changed between now and then. Was it easy to give it a fresh spin and kind of reissue it?
I was actually kind of surprised that just playing it again, it just kind of fit. It didn't seem or sound old. You know, it just.
I mean, the only thing we had to get used to was Katie's awesome voice, you know, because we had the typical Hootie 90s sounding, you know, singer like that, you know, like that. So, you know.
Try and break away from that and make sure I don't do
You
it.
had to cut all the shares out of it.
Yeah, exactly. So, it you know, it was really cool life, and you know, to have the is a compliment, I guess, more so to us, and especially Roger, since he was the architect of that song from the ground up. And yeah, we're pretty happy with that one, that it's still around.
It's a fun song.
So unfortunately, we're rolling into the last 10 minutes of the show, which means that I want to talk about the big Halloween show you have coming up, and also anything else you guys have coming down the pipeline.
Well, September is a more of a press month for us. We're going to do a photo shoot, so we're going to get looking all sexy if we can. That's hard to do.
Speak for yourself.
And then we got a music video that we're going to be working on very shortly.
Nice.
And then, the Halloween show. You know, we figured we are 1031. We love Halloween, so why not do a Halloween show? So we booked a little sportsman's club out in Riverside. And it's out in the woods, so it's kind of a cool setting. It's out in the middle of nowhere.
Awesome
And
bands playing with us, too.
Yeah, Those Alone, one of the bands that we've had, you know, the fortunate pleasure of playing with. And Three Pots Dead, who we got to meet a few weeks back. Both amazing bands. They both actually have, you know, albums out. Three Pots Dead just came out with their EP, so definitely check them out. It's going to be a night of awesome live music. Yeah,
we can dress up, too.
Yeah, you can play dress up, and, you know, there's going to be a DJ, and, you know, everybody can drink if you'd like. And we're actually selling advance tickets for like $5 if you go to our Facebook page. There's a Shop Now awesome button. You click that and you're in. So. And
are you going to try to turn this into an annual blowout?
We'd like to. That's why we want to make the first one, you know, popular, so we can go on for, you know, as many years as we can continue to do it. Whether it's us as 1031 or just saying, hey, 1031 presents our annual bash with, you know, all the bands.
And is recording of a full release in the pipeline?
Yeah, we're looking hopefully at the start in January to start recording a new, actually the full length. Like we mentioned earlier, we have a new guitarist that joined the band, so Roger's getting him all broken in, so he'll be good to go. So hopefully, you know, by next spring we'll have a complete full length to put out for everybody.
We got some new material that's coming about too, so we're in a good pace to do something solid.
So make sure you all go to facebook.com/1031NE. They're also on Reverb Nation, other sites, iTunes, things of that nature.
Yeah, iTunes, Spotify, Bandcamp, Google, whatever.
Pretty much anywhere.
Pretty much
you
we
can
paid
find
this.
music.
Yeah, we paid this site like $20, and they just put it on everything for us. So.
Isn't that awesome?
And we're good to go.
Isn't that awesome? Now you guys have been playing long enough to remember from driving from place to place.
Yep.
Now for $10, your release is literally not nationwide, I guess worldwide.
Yeah, pretty much. It's on anything that has music. We're there. So that's pretty awesome.
Well, thank you guys again. Keep up the good work. I've been trying to see you guys in the live. See you guys play live since you first came out. It just hasn't worked. So hopefully,
we're looking to maybe add one more band to the Halloween show. So
I
maybe
think
we can get an appearance by the Cretans.
Maybe I'll dress up as Leatherface.
I'll definitely run in the other direction.
I'll pick you up. So we're heading towards the end of the show, and I want to get 2 tracks in. I want to get another track in from 1031. So we're going to hear "We Were Never," and then before that, we're going to hear Michael Graves' "Scarecrow," because if you can believe it, it seems like Michael just got off tour, and when I talked to him earlier this week, he's going back out on tour. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Actually, it's only in a few weeks. He is playing at Firehouse 13 on September 14th. So we're going to hear some Michael Graves' "Scarecrow," then we're going to hear some 1031, and then, well, we'll be out of here for another week. So don't forget, next week we won't be on the air. We'll be at the Rocky Point Clam Shack. Go to rifreeradio.org for all the information. Of course, TonyJones.org, Facebook.com/TonyJonesShow, and on the almighty Twitter at TonyJonesInRI. Of course, TonyJones.org. Click on the contact page if you'd like to be in studio with us. We're going to be talking a little bit about wrestling in September, and we have some more great guests rolling in up into the paranormal season. Then we'll be having some paranormal guests. Not that our regular guests aren't paranormal, but we'll be having some, paranormal focused guests here
People
in
that
studio.
excel at the paranormal.
Not just
And
weirdos.
yeah.
All right, let's hear some Michael Graves up next off of Night of Sam Hain. Here's Scarecrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Fielded the moon in the sky. They brought me here to crucify. Circled by a field of corn, my skin was torn apart by numerous crows. I've been sleeping way too long. This night will wake me up and I will return. Whoa, whoa, whoa. My hunger is meant to kill. No one can escape from me. Circled by a field of corn, my skin was torn apart by numerous crows. I've been sleeping way too long. This night will wake me up and I will return. Circled by a field of corn, I was surrounded by the slaughterhouse crows. I've been sleeping way too long. This night will wake me up and I will return.